Hey everyone, Trevon with support here. Today we're going to be looking at the BG-Commander Pro. This is our professional PTZ joystick controller for PTZ cameras. And this one's going to stand out from a lot of your PTZ joystick controllers on the market with the unique interfaces and unique abilities. So first things first, something you may not have seen on other PTZ joystick controllers in the market is the micro SD card slot here on the back. This is going to allow you to record local photo and video from the joystick controller interface onto the SD card, which you can then use, for your PC or carry over to any other external devices that you may be using to record for post-production. Then you're going to have this USB 3.0 slot here on the back. That's going to enable you to do mouse and keyboard control or just mouse. But if you have a dongle that has both the mouse and keyboard on it, that's going to allow you to just insert that here via the USB dongle or just a straight USB cable, and then enable control of the interface from those devices. That way you don't have to touch the screen if your hands are messy, you work in a busy environment where your hands are going to be smudging up the screen and ruining your shots or monitoring view of all of your cameras, so on and so forth. Then you're going to have your RS-232 in the form of the RJ45 ports, then our RS-485, and then also we have the PoE, which is currently powering this unit. PoE is just one Ethernet cable coming into the back here, providing the BG-Commander Pro with both power and an Ethernet connection. That way you don't have to do short cable runs via the power adapter or just messy cable runs with a bunch of cables laying around everywhere. It's just one cable in and you'll be able to access all of your cameras, keep this thing powered on. And if you don't want to use the PoE port for whatever reason, you do have the power adapter here in the back, and that's going to be enabled via the on and off switch right to the left of it. And then the next thing we're going to look at here is just the main interface, actually adding cameras and controlling them from the interface. So once you have everything connected, PoE, HDMI, anything else you want to have sorted out back here, we can now go into the interface and get everything sorted out. Cameras connected, joystick networked, and it's just going to take a few minutes. So we're going to start with clicking on the settings button. And you're going to see a few options there, but we're going to start with system settings because we want to make sure that the joystick is networked. So that's going to be network settings. And from network settings, you're going to go ahead and go to the Ethernet. And then on the very bottom, you're going to see something called Ethernet IP mode. And you're going to make sure that's set to DHCP if you have a network configuration that enables DHCP, or if you don't, you can go ahead and set a static IP. When setting IP address, you want to make sure it's on the same network scheme as your cameras, because that's going to enable flawless communication between the cameras and the controller. That way you can control them without having any issues. So once you have that networked, we're going to go ahead and go to your camera list. Now in your camera list, you can see I already have one camera added here, but say I want to use VSCA, which is a pretty common protocol used to search and find cameras, control cameras. I'm going to hit VSCA search. It's going to take a few seconds to find all the cameras on the network that have the VSCA protocol enabled in their systems. And then here I can do an advanced search, and that's going to find additional cameras that may not have been picked up during the first round, but you should see all your cameras during the first search here. So I have cameras 30.193, 30.145, 30.57, and what I would do is just click, check all the boxes I want to check, and then you're going to add the name, alias, and then RTSP stream is automatically generated. That's just going to bring the stream to PTZ mode, which is where we're going next. So once you have the cameras added, you're going to go to PTZ mode, and then you're going to see your cameras here in this quad view, this quad multi-view display here. So on the left side, you're going to see all your cameras. Right now I have this camera here from previous installation, and you just drag and drop And then once you have your cameras drag and drop to where you want them, you can hit save, confirm, and that's going to bring you all your camera feeds. So once you have your camera feeds pulled up, you can actually select which cameras you want to control by clicking on the camera number. You have 1, 2, 3, 4. You can have 4 at a time, or if you want to do 1, you just go 1 by 1 for the PTZ layout, and that's going to give you that 1 camera feed there. Drag and drop, hit save. But for this example, we're going to go ahead and do 2 by 2. So once you have a camera saved and you want to make any changes to it, you're going to make sure you click on it, and it's going to have this orange outline around the edges. And then you can see all of the settings sort of pop up down here below. You have your play, stop, you can take photos, record, set presets. And then for those who, for some reason, may want to have the touchscreen PTZ, maybe it's a little more precise for what you are trying to do with the cameras in that moment, you can enable that and control the cameras here using this little PTZ dial. Set PTZ speed, you can zoom, focus, and you have other settings here as well. So we're going to click on that. So you also have your enlarge button. This has been brought up as one of the favorite features here. So if you have your 4 cameras all lined up here and you want to enlarge one of the camera feeds just to get a closer view and better monitor that camera angle for some reason, maybe you think that that's a good camera angle to get some pictures or videos, or you want to make a slightly more precise adjustment with the PTZ knobs or any of the image settings, you go ahead and hit enlarge, and that's going to bring that camera feed up above the others. Then you have your color. That's of course changing the image parameters. You can see here on the left side you have brightness, you have red gain, blue gain, exposure, and all the other image settings that you may want to change during the production. Channel, that's for our RS-232 connections. Web interface, we'll get there in a moment. But unbind, this is going to pull apart your video wall. So if you wanted to pull everything apart and then reset a new video wall configuration, you're going to go ahead and do that. So now I'm going to click on this, bring up all my other settings again. And then you have save settings, HDMI out. So this is going to enable you to choose your HDMI out settings. As mentioned before, we have the HDMI out port on the back that's going to bring the interface to like a local monitor or even a capture card. So you can have a few options here. You can do PTZ wall mode, and that's going to do a HDMI out version of the PTZ wall you have set here. No other settings will be shown. This is great for maybe if you want to display the camera, the interface to like an audience, or just for pure monitoring purposes without having to show off any other settings that you're using at the moment. And all the settings that you make, or all the settings that you edit, make changes to while in PTZ mode will show up there as well, so you don't have to go in and reset it. But once you're out of PTZ wall, you can do a full interface capture. That's great for if you want to use your keyboard and mouse in the back, or just have that option to see the interface on a bigger screen. And then you have UART, also RS-232. You can access the settings, same settings as we were in before. That's just a quicker way to get there. Refresh the system. And then you have your help button. That's going to bring up the product manual if you ever get lost during the process. It's a very easy and quick way to access information if you need it. And then this may not be helpful for most, but if you ever need to put this thing to sleep briefly, to walk away, and you don't want anyone, accidentally bumping any settings or touch anything they shouldn't be, hit the lock button, and that goes ahead and puts up a screensaver. Press and hold, and we're back. So now that we've gone over the back interface and just the main settings, getting the cameras added to the controller, as well as the main features that we see in the PTZ control, and getting used to the interface, we can go ahead and add our 4 cameras and get a live action demonstration of how it all works. I'll also use this opportunity to go over some of the features and some of the buttons that you don't see in the interface, but you will see on the front panel here with all the buttons. And so let's get started with adding the cameras. I know we've gone over this briefly, but now we'll be able to see all the cameras added to the interface and be able to see how it's supposed to look once you add them and name all the cameras. So here we have cameras 1 through 4, as you see here right in front of us. And you see each camera has its IP address, and then I've had the cameras here labeled by number 1 through 4, just to make things simple. If you need to make changes to the cameras after they've been added, you just simply click on the camera, and there's a little tool button there. You'll be able to access the camera name, IP address, password, protocol, TCP port, and then RTSP stream. So once you've had the cameras configured properly and you have everything that you need for them to work with your system, go ahead and enter the PTZ mode. And here you'll be able to see all the camera feeds. These are the RTSP streams. And you have cameras 1 through 4 there on the left with the IP addresses. Of course, they're going to be named as well. I have them named 1 through 4. And you can see here I have them in the 2x2 configuration. And so just to give you guys an idea of how this all works out, I'm going to unbind them. And that's going to sort of empty my PTZ wall there. And now I'm going to drag and drop each camera, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Hit save. And there we have it. I have my 4 camera feeds here. And then if I wanted to set this as a scene, I'm going to go ahead and hit save as. This is going to be scene 2. So basically this is presetting this whole configuration so I can recall it later and then set more scenes later down the road. So here's scene 2, recalled, and there it is. So now getting to control. So let's use this camera, for example, camera 1. This is looking at our nice video wall back there. And the knobs are pretty simple. So I'm going to adjust the speed here, PTZ speed. This is going to be the top left knob called PT speed. And up on top, you're going to be able to see the operation PTZ speed percentage. I'm going to go ahead and set it to, let's say 60 to be safe here. So here, I'm zooming in. And as you can see, it has a nice pull. Doesn't come to a brief stop, but gives you some leeway. Left and right. Back to the center. And then you can also adjust the focus. We have a focus dial towards the bottom left of the interface, the front panel interface, and it has a nice slow pull where you can slowly adjust the focus levels. And as you can see up on top, it's going to tell you if you're changing the focus for camera 1 or preset. So we're going to go ahead and enable autofocus again just to clear that up. Okay, so now that we've gone over that, let's take a look at the photo and record option. Now this is going to be the same photo and record that's going to be saved to the micro SD chip located here in the back of the panel, located near the back panel. And so basically all you would do to set a photo, you're going to select which camera you would want to take a photo with, and then capture it. Just by tapping on it, it takes a few seconds. And then to record, you're going to simply press the record button and it's going to be automatically recording as soon as you press it, and you're going to go ahead and stop the recording. And to give you guys an idea of where these photos and recordings go, so you're going to go back to your settings, and it's going to be under photos and recording. Click on that. So here's my recording, and here are my photos. You also have your collections. And then you can export these from this menu as well, delete them, or save the location. And as promised, we're gonna go back to the web interface feature that we discussed earlier. So to enable the web interface, you're gonna go ahead and just click the web GUI button. It's gonna take a few seconds to load up the login screen. And as always, our password and username is going to be admin, all lowercase. So here I am logged in, and you can see the same camera feed as you see in the PTZ mode. Now, for whatever reason, if you'd like to control the camera from here, you can still access these features as well. But the main reason for this web interface access with the Commander Pro is you can go into all of the configuration settings, which you would normally have to log into the camera's interface via a separate laptop, which can take time and space and extra equipment. But from here, you can access all of the settings, all the same settings that you would on the laptop getting into the web interface. Most importantly, we have our networking settings here. You can re-network the camera if there's some sort of IP conflict, or if you just like to have the camera on a separate IP address than what it was before. You have our TSP stream NDI if you need to enable NDI or change your TSP stream link. We also have update and factory default available, and reboot. And if you happen to have more than 4 cameras added to your controller, and you'd like to preview those feeds but don't want them up on your 2x2 multi-view here, what you can do is you can press and hold this little eye here, and that's going to show you all the different previews of the cameras. For instance, that's camera 1 showing up as a preview, and this is going to work if you have, let's say, camera 5 and 6 that you want to preview to make sure that they're still active, but you don't want them up on the 2x2 multi-view wall. You just go ahead and hit that button, and then you're going to have your preview pop up just like that. And then if you need to access your presets, we have our preset setting here. We have our default preset, which is 0, the home position. If I wanted to add a different preset, let's say I wanted to capture, so let's say for camera 1, I want to capture one side of this video wall and save it as a preset. I can adjust the angle here. I'm going to go to preset now and add preset. You go ahead and add that as preset 2. All right. So now I'm going to set this camera back to what it was before, right there in the middle of the video wall. And then I'm going to call preset 2, and there we go. It's preset 2. Those are just some of the main features that you may see on the BG-Commander Pro. Of course, this thing is feature-packed. It has tons of features, but we can't get through all of them in one video. But if you'd like to see more description on some of those other features, such as the patrol mode, auto tracking mode, tally light system, or even the sequence mode that are very popular in broadcasting, church production, even podcasting environments, go ahead and shoot us an email, leave a comment. And as always, go ahead and leave us a like, a comment, and subscribe to BZBGEAR TV for more videos on the Commander Pro and other BZBGEAR equipment.